In this video, we are going to learn about Western political thinker Niccolo Machiavelli, well known as a father of modern political thoughts. So, if you have any questions, put it down in the comment section. Without any further ado, let's begin. Niccolo Machiavelli was born in Florence, Italy. During the Medici government, he joined court of Florence as a clerk. When the Medici family overthrown, he became a top diplomat on matters related to war and peace. He served as a diplomat for 14 years. In 1512, when the Medici family returned into power, Machiavelli was dismissed and briefly jailed. He then wrote one of his famous books, The Prince. It is the powerful book he ever wrote. He also wrote several poems and plays. So let's discuss about the certain factors that influence Niccolo Machiavelli to wrote Theory of Political Power. Machiavelli was living at the time when Italy was disunited. There were six states in Italy: Florence, Roman, Milan, Naples, Venice, and Sicily. He was a true patriotic Italian and he wanted to unify all the states. In his age, a movement came into being in Europe called the Enlightenment period. He was not the pioneer of this movement, but he was the catalyst to that process. When he was at the post of diplomat, he traveled different states and he came to know that the main reason behind the disunity of Italy is the conspiracy of popes. The clergy are the main culprits. So the weak rulers have to rely upon the religious endorsement. Popes divided Italy in order to make sure that they will remain the kingmaker. Machiavelli wrote The Prince and the Theory of Political Power to convince the ruler that he must rely on his own state power, not on the divine power. If the prince rely on the divine power, then popes will exploit him. Theory of Political Power. He begins his theory by describing human nature. He says that human by nature is rational, wise, and selfish. The only thing which motivates him is fear. Fear is the main element that influences the human behavior. Powerful monarch. The state must be governed by the powerful monarch or the prince. If the prince is powerful, then the people will follow his orders through fear and power. And in that case, he will not have to rely on popes. Church and politics. Machiavelli says that the rulers must ensure the separation of church from politics. The role of popes must be limited to the church because if they will get a role in the politics, they would create a condition of instability. The church should not allow to interfere in state's matter, but if church violates the state's law, the prince must take action. State will be superior and church should be subordinate. If the church takes any decision, it will discuss in the state, but it is not the official state decision. Separation of ethics from politics. The prince should not follow ethical principle. He says that if the state interests demand, the prince must be willing to speak lies. He must be willing to do everything for the sake of state interest. Fox and lion analogy. He must be brave like a lion and cunning like a fox. Fear and respect. The combination of fear and respect will prevent people from revolting against the prince. Too much excessive fear might lead to hatred, and the prince must avoid it. He should keep balance between the both. Expand or expire. The prince should expand his territory or state, otherwise, he will be expire. If you will not expand your boundaries, other will expand and then you will destroy. War. If there's a war in neighborhood, as a neighbor, you should not be neutral in a war. Machiavelli says the prince should support the weak one in the neighborhood because if he support the strong one, he will become stronger, and if he become more powerful, it will be a threat to you. You will be the next target. His influence and contribution. Machiavelli left a tremendous influence on the modern age. His greatest contribution to modern political thought is his separation of religion from politics, which entitles him to be called the first modern political thinker. He is one of those who are chiefly responsible for the growth of modern nationalism. Thanks for watching the CSS Fair. See you in the next video. Keep moving forward. Allah Hafiz.